Okay, so for my digital humanities project, I am looking at Locke and the evolution of currency from the gold standard to cryptocurrency. Now, Locke says all this. That's a lot, so I'm going to break it down. Pretty much what Locke is saying, the only reason that gold and silver have value at the time is because men consent upon it. The reason that they use it for labor, to buy and sell things, is because we all agree that there is an intrinsic value of these precious metals that's been minted into coins and things. So pretty much applying that to this is with the elimination of currency, societies have consented that fiat currency have value. Now, the people who in those societies who consented to it is the powers that be. So the governments are like, fiat currency has value because we said so, and the banks support it, and the people within the country support it. That's a big thing, the faith of the people supporting the currency. Now, crypto takes a different turn. It is fully supported by the faith of the people. There is no government backing it. It is the faith of the people that decide upon the intrinsic value of crypto. Now, talking about the gold standard. So the dollar used to be based off of the weight of gold and silver. Buying power of the dollar would be pretty much how much a certain amount of weight of gold would be. Eventually, silver was phased out due to the discoveries of more precious metals, and gold would be valued less because of those discoveries. Now, it eventually became, once silver got pulled from circulation, it was just gold, and gold and fiat currency kind of were like together until 1933 when the gold standard was ended. However, the gold standard still had it would still be within American currency until the 60s. So pretty much the Federal Reserve couldn't meet the demands of the banks during the Great Depression, which the people in the banks were saying, we need this money, we need this money. The banks couldn't meet, or the Federal Reserve couldn't meet that, so they pretty much were like, we're done with the gold standard, we're printing currency that is valued as what we say it is, and the people of, well, America is what we're looking at, pretty much agreed upon that, so did the banks, and this would be gold would be phased out. There was a quasi-gold standard from the 30s to the 60s, but it was mostly fiat currency from 1933 and on, because gold really only was used by world governments for like official transactions until every world government adopted their own fiat currency. So fiat currency is currency with no physical commodity backing it. So gold standard had gold backing it. There's nothing backing it. That means that the faith of the people is what it decides the value of the currency. There is inherently no intrinsic value of fiat currency, but the value comes from the people. Now, this leads to some problems such as inflation, as we see in society, gas prices skyrocketing, things like that are a result of fiat currency. And you can see economies fall off the rails in places like Zimbabwe, Venezuela, where the faith of the people is lost in the fiat currency, and the inflation takes it where I believe it's $1 is worth like a few trillion, whatever currency they have in Zimbabwe. Now, for the future of money, while a lot like fiat currency, cryptocurrency is completely backed by the faith of the people. However, it doesn't have the government backing it, or like the Federal Reserve. That is the only main difference. It's supported by the blockchain and similar programs, which allows for these peer-to-peer transactions to occur. And the faith in crypto there's faith being put into crypto by the people. And that the faith of the people, saying it's a legitimate currency, is what gives it value in society. Due to the fact that it's not supported by any government, you see it being used as alternatives to these currencies. Like I said, in Zimbabwe or Venezuela, these people in these countries are using cryptocurrency as their main form of currency because the government currency is not like worth anything anymore. So they having their life savings in crypto is more valuable for them than having their government fiat currency. We're most likely going to see a change in this because as Locke said, the value of things is decided by the consent of the people, and the faith of the people is what keeps these markets of fiat currency and cryptocurrency afloat, what gives them their value. And we're seeing more and more people adopt cryptocurrency into daily life, and with that more faith is being put into it, giving it more value, more standing as a legitimate form of currency. So the future of money is within cryptocurrency. The faith of the people supporting cryptocurrency is giving it value over the fiat currencies. Like I said, we're seeing it overtake fiat currency in countries like Venezuela and Zimbabwe. There's some of the resources that I use for it. John Locke's Chapter 5 of Property. That first site is a site that discusses what fiat currency is, how it's used throughout history. And the second link is about the history of the gold standard and how it was pretty much phased out. That is all. Thank you for listening.